Well, good morning. It's the beginning of the week, and I actually want to talk about something this week that it's bugged me for a long time, actually. And it's the one thing that I think causes a lot of subtle problems in people's fishing. There's a lot of things that are self-regulated. Powers on rods can be completely different from one manufacturer to another. Actions can be completely different. Graphite modulus can be completely different from one manufacturer to another. What that causes is an inconsistency between brands. But I think one of the biggest and most under-noticed things that cause a lot of problems for fishermen is diameters and fishing lines. I'm a very big proponent on knowing how deep my crankbait runs based on the pound test I'm using. And I also want to know how much breaking strength I have. And the problem we have today is the fact that some manufacturers boast incredible breaking strength for the pound test. But is the pound test of line actually the pound test? Now, I'm not going to go out there and say that all lines on the market are bad. They're not. They're all great. But I think the information printed on the label is incredibly misleading for a lot of anglers. I will let you know that I have used for the last 7 years SUNLINE products, and I want to explain to you why I've used them. Diameter is a big thing. 10-pound test from one manufacturer should basically be the same diameter as 10-pound test from another, but it isn't. So how does it affect you as an angler? Number one, it's going to do is the thicker the line, obviously the stiffer the line, and the decrease in casting distance you're going to notice. The other thing you're going to hear is that how strong, oh well, our 10-pound test breaks at 14 pounds. If I'm buying 10-pound test, I'm expecting it to break at 10 pounds. The fact that it breaks at 14, but I have to cast 20 yards less than a comparable 10-pound test, or the fact that my crankbait is only going to run 6 feet instead of the listed 8 or 9 because the diameter is thicker, or the fact that it's going to coil up on my bait caster when I'm using 20 or 25 pound and flipping because it's too stiff, that doesn't help me as an angler. It doesn't help anyone as an angler. I wanted to compare some fluorocarbons to fluorocarbons, and again, not mentioning names, I took 2 of the top fluorocarbons on the market for mass quantities that are sold by big box stores. I used the most common weights, 6 pound, 8 pound, 10 pound on the light finesse side, so spinning side, and I used 20 and 25, which are big for the guys who flip heavy cover. A 6 pound FC Sniper is 0.008 inch diameter. You move to 8 pound, it's 0.009. Go to 10, 0.010. 20 pound test was 0.0146, and 25 pound test is 0.0163. So a massive difference. And when you compare it to the leading fluorocarbons on the market, there's a massive discrepancy. From what we gather, one of the #1 selling fluorocarbons that's mass produced has 6 pound test with a diameter of 0.010 inches. That's the same diameter as FC Sniper's 10 pound. Its 8 pound is 0.011. Its 10 pound is 0.012. And we figured all this out a few years back when we were doing Beyond the Cast, the show, and we were comparing casting distances on equivalent 10-pound tests. And this is where this really came to light, and this is when I started digging into it a little further. On the heavier side of this company's fluorocarbon is 20 pound at 0.017 inches, which is higher than our 25, and the 25 pound at 0.019 inches. So pretty thick stuff. And what does that mean if you're a flipper? If you've ever flipped fluorocarbon 20 pound and above, you know that loose line that happens? That happens because it's too thick, it's too stiff. So the thinner diameter lines are naturally gonna be better for flipping. They're gonna give you that better casting control. They're gonna sit better on your reels and make your experience of flipping fluorocarbon overall better. On the spinning side, I don't know how many times I get emails from people about the line blowing off, fluorocarbon being unmanageable. Well, of course it's unmanageable. If a competitor's 10-pound test is the same diameter as our 12 or 14-pound test, I would never recommend putting 14 or 12-pound fluoro on a spinning reel, especially a 2500 or 3000 size reel. That's why their 6-pound works fine, their 8 is iffy, and the 10 makes it really difficult to use, if not impossible. So just a heads up, just an FYI, and I'm not telling you to stop buying other people's lines here. That's not the point of this, because there are some great both monofilament and nylon and fluorocarbon lines on the market. This is just to make you aware of the fact that there's a massive diameter discrepancy out there. And if you want to know exactly what your baits are doing and how they're acting, or how you can eliminate fluorocarbon from being an issue on your spinning reels or on your bait casting reels when you're flipping, take a look in the diameter. I think you might be surprised when you start digging into what you're using and what diameters it actually is compared to some of the leading brands. That's it for now. Hopefully this one helps, guys. Love doing this kind of stuff. Love breaking down things that are in the marketplace. So hopefully you guys will keep liking and sharing these videos, and we can make fishing a little bit easier for everyone, one piece at a time. Take care.